welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to be showing you how I use my pattern to make a very nice fitting half dress. I'm going to be using the princess pattern to make this dress. So please stay tuned to the end of the video and do like to subscribe, like, and give this video a thumbs up. Also comment and ask a question if you have any. Thank you. Stay tuned. So to get started, like I told you in my other video when I was drafting this pattern, you can click on the link on the description void or in the description box to see how I draft this pattern. You're going to be leaving half an inch. Make sure you're drawing your half an inch when you're cutting out this pattern. So let me start. Told you I've already cut out my half an inch added it to this pattern from the underneath of it. So I'm just going to cut it out now. So I'm not going to make it sharp. Okay, so this is it. I've already added my half an inch to my shoulder, so what I'm just going to do is to cut it straight out. I've added my half an inch to this pattern for the shoulder, so I'm just going to cut it exactly. And neck. So this is it. You can see it. You see the half an inch here. So now I've done for the front, the center front. Make sure whenever you're starting any of your cuts, you start from the center. You start from the biggest side of your fabric and the center, the most important part, so that in case your material is not going to be enough, you've already done the most important ones. And if you want to add for the side, you can join or you can do whatever you want to do, but that's just a secret, you know. But this material, this fabric is going to be enough for the whole dress. I'm using 4 yards and I'm making the gown. So okay, so now this is for the side front. Okay, don't forget to leave your half, to add your half inch seam allowance to the front of it. But first I will start by cutting from the down part of it. Okay, I've already added my 2 seam allowance, so I'm not going to add anything yet. I just cut straight up. Okay, this is where I'll start adding from all this side, from this part. Now I'm going to add here. Ta-da! So as you can see, I've added it. So one thing now you do, make sure you notch each part of this so you know where to connect. It's important you notch it if you're a beginner and you get confused. It's very important for you to notch it so that you won't make any mistake. So I'm going to do the same notching for the center front, okay, and then we'll cut out the back. because of this remaining space is not long enough for my center back, I'm just going to start with my side back first, and then I'll cut out I'm going to fold in another part for my center back. So, but if you're I have enough fabric so I can afford to do that, but if you're managing your fabric, you start from the center back to cut for the side back. So this is it. As you can see, my ½ inch seam allowance for each side, and note I cut everything on folds, so it will be for the two side. If it's on fold, it will be for the two side, but if you cut it single, you might make mistake, because each side are not, because they're facing each other, it's like this. You can see it's going to be like this. They're facing each other, but if you cut one single one, you might end up making the same parts for the two sides. But as you can see, it's for both sides. Okay, so we're going to do the center back. So before you continue, make sure you cut every excess part of it. Okay, you cut all the excess fabrics that are not going to be useful to you. You just cut it out. Put them one side. Okay, so now you fold another part of it to make the center back of your fabric. So I'm putting it this way because I don't want to use so much fabric for this. So fold it this way. Note I'm not going to be adding at this side because here's the zip allowance. I've already added it, so I'm going to be adding ½ inch towards this side, and I'm cutting it on fold. So you can decide to use your shock tool and your tape to do the measurement to make sure that what you are cutting out or what you are leaving out is ½ inch, and then you use your shock again to trace it, or you do it the way I'm doing it. If you've already figured out how ½ inch looks like, you know that by heart, you can just do it the way I am cutting my own fabric. So this is the excess. I'm just going to cut this out. My zip allowance is already there, so I don't need this remaining space. So if your own zip allowance is 2 inch, your own zip allowance is 2 inch, then fine, you need enough space for that, but I'm just using 1 inch and it's been added already here, so there's no need to do that. So this is how you cut you can place your pattern on your fabric for cutting. Thanks for staying tuned, and I'll see you in my next video. Final look. You know, I told you I cut it on fold. When it's folded, this is how it looks like. So I just opened it, and this is how it looks like. If you want to join it, you start from the down, and then you join towards this part of it. I notched every part, so whenever you get to the under bust, you know, and then the bust points you also know because of the notching. And then once you get to the side and there is excess here, you're going to cut it out. Okay, so I'm going to show you in my other video, but before you do that, you're going to use this same fabric to cut. You're going to use it to cut your lining. So your lining is what you put inside your clothes, to use it to cover the inside of your clothes or to make your clothes thicker. So I'm going to be placing this unfold on my lining, and I'll cut out my lining, and after I finish cutting out my lining, then we'll start making our blouse. So stay tuned for the next video. Please do it to like, subscribe, and give this video a thumbs up. Again, it's same as like my video please, and subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you in my next video. Thanks for staying till the end of this video. Love you. Bye. So I do the same for the side. For the side front, I don't cut for the side back. Neither do I cut for the center back. So I only cut this. My interface will just be for the front, so as to give it a nice fitting and make that part of it come out very nicely and fine, you know. So I fold it in two and I cut it out. So this is what I do. I've already done the center front of it, so it's just the side front. And once I'm done cutting the side front, we'll just go and iron it. We'll press it, and after pressing it, we'll start sewing. So this is it. Okay, you'll do the same for the lining. So I'm just going to show you this so that you see the way I do mine. Okay, so different designer with their own style, but this is my style, and I think this style suits me very well, and it makes my dress comes out nicely. Okay, so yeah. So I'm doing this unfold so as to get both sides. If I'm doing it single, like I said the other time, you might make a mistake by cutting one part of it twice, and it will not be able to fit the other part of it. So since it's unfold, you've cut for both sides already automatically. Thank you for staying tuned. So the next thing I did after cutting my stay, I pressed it on the material on the clothes. So after that, I started by stitching it from the down part of it upwards. So I started from the down to avoid any mistake, because if you start from the up, you see this extra here, you might end up taking it towards this down part and cutting it out, so it will make the cloth look awkward. So this extra space here, from the start of the video I explained why we got this, so you can just trace it out with your scissors and just cut it out. So you see how it looks so perfect. So the next thing I'll be doing now is to press the side. I'm going to be notching it, and then I'll open it and press it this way. I'll press it so that it can be flat. Down part of it. To get started, I'm going to be measuring the waist the waist measurement from here is waist measurement is 8.25. She has a very tiny waist. 8.25, that is divided by 4. So you mark it, and then you add your 2 seam allowance, that is 10.25. Now to get our hip measurements, we're going to be taking from our waist downward, it's 9, but we're going to be adding half an inch as our seam allowance, so it's going to be 9.5. Okay, so this is where our hip starts from for most persons, but for some person you have to take the measurement and see where their hip may start from. So but this is the standard measurement, 9. So now we are going to also divide the hip measurement by 4. Our waist measurement was 33, it's 33.5. yeah, our hip is 46.5 or 46. I'm just going to be using 46. So 46 divided by 4 is 11.5. 11.5 plus 2 is 13.5. So we start our measurement. Note where my tape is going from this side towards the side. So it's going to be 13.5. 13.5. Wow, see the difference. So you use your ruler to connect if your hand is not straight. So you connect with your ruler. Okay, I've just made the connection from the waist. You can see it from the waist to the hip. Okay, so now from there we're going to take this the same waist measurement, but we're adding 1 more inch to it. Instead of 10.25, we're going to make it 11.25 at the bottom part of it, because it's more like a straight gown, so for it not to be too tight and so that she can walk freely, and she is a conservative person, she does not want something that is very tight. So we're going to be taking 11.5 at the bottom part of it, but make sure you measure the length from the waist to the length of the gown. So the length of our gown is from the waist downward is 46. So we'll take the measurement downwards and then we'll mark it. Wow, it's complete. So we're going to connect. Down, and we use our ruler to connect. Okay. So from this hip here, you can see from this hip here, we're just going to take our ruler to connect downward. I want you to see it, so I'm drawing it down. To the end of the fabric. So this is where I marked. She's very tall lady, so this is is it. And then you cut it out from the waist downwards. That is where you start cutting. You can see. Okay. Continue cutting. So we're done cutting the front. This is how the front looks like. It's an extra material. Just make you see it through. So you can see. So we're going to place this front to get the back. We're going to place it on the next fabric to get the back up. So you make a fold again, then place the front that you've cut. You're going to place the front like this, leaving your zip allowance. So this part here is going to be your zip allowance. So my zip allowance right from the front is 1 inch. So you can see the space I left is up to 1 inch. Just use my tape to confirm. As you can see, it's 1 inch. You can see it's 1 inch. So now I'm going to cut from this other side so as to get my back. So this is how it looks like. This is the back. I'm placing the back and the front on the back. So this is my zip allowance. I'm just going to use my scissors to cut this straight because this is my zip allowance. Just cut it really down out of it. And note, for this tie, I'm not going to be putting the slit at the back. I'm going to be putting slits at the front. So I'll be closing the slits that is supposed to be on this back. I'll be closing it. My zip is going to be at the back, but there will just be a slit at the front. So at the end of this video, you will see the full clothes, how it looks like, and the style of the clothes. So stay tuned to the end of this video. So this is it, zip part of my clothes, so that you get a fitting. So I take 11.5 from this side, just something that I used to do, but you can choose not to do it. But for me, it makes that the cuff part of your butt, it makes it so very nice like this. Now I'll put it, so I take 7 inch down from there. Okay, and I connect this way. Okay, I don't know if you can see it because I'm using Broad Shock, so it's not so bright. Okay, it's too bright for the clothes, so I'm just going to cut this out and cut it. I'll cut the remaining parts. I'll cut the remaining part out. So once I've done cutting it, it will just give her fitting at the butt. So you see, only my zip part that is showing here. The rest, once you're done sewing, once you're sewing it in, it will just, you know how those celebrity clothes looks like when their butt just comes out and probably they don't even have. So this is what it looks like once, if you want your clothes to look that way and you want it to have fitting at the back or the butt of the clothes. This is what I do to my clothes. Done cutting it. This is the back, this is where the zip is, this is the zip part of it, this is the front. Okay, you can choose to remove the front, but I'm just using the front as a yardstick of how I cut my clothes. So now I'm just going to cut the front, the center of the front a little bit up, because I'm going to be putting slits at the front, but there will be no slit at the back. I'm closing the back. Okay, but I'm putting my slit at the front, so my slit should end somewhere here. For easy movements, so it's okay. So this is it. So note, whatever I do for the Ankara, the dress, I'm going to do to the lining. So I've already done the same for the lining, but I've still not pressed this part of it. So I'll be doing that now. I'll be pressing this part. I'm going to notch it and press it flat so that this place will come out very nice and beautiful. Also, you notice that I've added lace to this. I did the same for the skirt part of it, so it's just for beautification, to make it look beautiful. And the slit is being done at the front of the blouse of the dress. Okay, so this is what I've done so far. Next, I will be attaching this to this, and everything I do here, I'll do the same for the lining. Okay, and once I'm done, I will show you what I'll be doing next. Okay, this is where I am right now. I've attached the blouse to the skirt part of the dress. So now the half length has been attached to the body, and this is it. I've also used the lace to cover the line. That is the style. I've done the same for the back. As you can see, I've added the zip to it, and that is it. I'll also do the same for the lining. So the next thing is to place the lining on top of the clothes, and then you sew it round. You sew it round. You do the same for the back, but the only thing for this back, the only thing is that when you are sewing it, you have to open this part. It's very important. Okay, so you leave 1 inch here. Starting from here, you stitch it through. You understand? So you stitch it from here, leaving this 1 inch for turning. So you stitch it through this way. You do the same for here, leaving 1 inch and stitch it through. So this is it for now. So I'll show you what to do next after that. I usually put hemming gum to it. So this gum will just stick to the lining whenever I finish ironing. So what I do is that I don't put it at this other side, I don't put it at the clothes. I put it on top of this lining. So once you iron it, it will make that part or the neck to look neat, and it won't make it to be moving here and there like some clothes does. When you put your clothes or when you want to do anything, the lining will just come up. No, because of this hemming gum, it will just stick to the clothes. So I just want to show you this part of it, this part of this video, and to include it in the video too. I also do the same for my zip. Okay, so I will show you once I'm done with it. I will show you how it looks like. Okay, so next I'm going to notch. I'm going to notch it. I'll notch this side. So once I'm done notching it, I'm going to sew this part to the lining. So now I'm top stitching it. This am my notching. So I've done that. So I'll top stitch it all through to the end of the neck. So this way, make sure it's facing the lining, not to the clothes. It's to the lining. In the same for the neck, I started stitching from the end, but when I'm top stitching it, I will not start from the end. I'm just going to leave 1 inch to top stitch it. It's better to stop there so that when I'm turning it, it will be easy for me, like I explained the other time. So I'm stitching right through from the end down to this part, but when I'm stop stitching the back, I'll stop 1 inch. So this is what I'm talking about. I have top stitched it right from the end of the neck, and then I'm stopping where the zip stop, which is 1 inch. I want you to see it. You can see it. This is where I attach the zip. Okay, so I'm stopping there. That is my top stitch. But I've already sewn the up, but I'm not top stitching the part of the zip. So after top stitching the back neck, you're going to turn it this way. You're going to turn the lining this way all through to the zip part and stitch through to the end of it. This is the zip part of it. So I'm going to turn it. So this is how it will look like once you place it this way. You start stitching it from here down to where this where the zip is supposed to end. So you stop there. You do the same for the other side, but when you're stitching it, you have to put hemming gum on top of this. So I'll just show you how I put my hemming gum. So this is it. This is the neck, the back neck. So this is where I'll start stitching, placing my hemming gum on top of it, and then stitching I'll sew it through till where the zip ends. Okay, so I'll do it here, and I'll do the same for the other parts. That is how I attach my lining to my gown. After stitching both sides using my aiming gum to the down part where the zip ends, I'm going to turn it so that to show you how the back looks. So this is it. You see how neat it looks. So all I just need to do is to press it and to look so perfect. Yeah, I'll open it wide and press it down. So this is it. This is the back of the dress. So next I'm going to be attaching it to the front. I'm going to from this side, from the neck, I'll place the front and the back together, show you. So this is the front here and this is the back. So I place it together. I'm going to take the front, I'm going to connect the Ankara, the material to each side, then the lining to each side. So I'll hold it this way, then open it. So this is it. This is the neck, and this is the shoulder. So I'll connect both shoulder to each other. I'll start by stitching it, or I'll first of all look at it. I'll connect the two ends together so that one will not start from the side and the other one from this other side. So it's for it to start and for it to be equal, I'm going to pin these two together, pin it so that it will be equal to each other. So after pinning it, I will stitch it through. So this is it. Then turn it this way. See that it's equal. See how equal it is. Okay, so you turn it this way. So this is it. This is the neck, this is the back, this is the front. I'm here to shape the armhole. I will do that, but first I need to do the other side of the shoulder. So after I'm done with that, I'm going to attach this back to this back without the lining. I'll attach this to this. So front and back facing each other, so that once you turn it, it will be both fronts. Okay, so I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to do the same for the lining. Once you've attached it, the gown is almost complete, and then we'll be thinking about the sleeve. So first of all, I'm going to do the other shoulder, and then we'll be talking about attaching both. Next, I'll be cutting the sleeve. I just need to do this video, although it's getting dark and I'm using the natural light, but I just need to do this in order to get started. So the length of the sleeve is 13. I'm using 13 for the sleeve length, and I'm going to measuring 5 downward for the sleeve slope. Then the armhole measurements is 19, so somewhere around here. Okay, I'm taking 5 somewhere around here. Then I'll have my seam allowance, so somewhere around here. So this is it. So I'm just going to use my scissors to trace it down so that 5 measurement that I'm taking. Okay, yeah, so this is it, and trace it down to the side. So this is without using a pattern. You can just easily do this. So don't forget, this is on fold. This is so that both the two hem and two sleeve are cut together and they are equal. So I'm going to just slant my hand, not too much. Okay, so it is when I'm sewing, I'm going to get this. Although a sleeve round is 12, so this is it. So you can see that I have extra up to now. So, and the armhole is about 19. 9 plus 9 is 18, 9 and a half. So it ends here. So you see that I have allowance from here to here, straight down. Okay, so this is how you do your sleeve. Then later, after you finish sewing everything together, you're going to sew your sleeve first before connecting it to your blouse. So stay tuned till then, and I'll see you in my next video. So this is the next step, front and back. But this is the front of the blouse. So I'm going to be attaching 8 swish holder. I'm attaching the front to the back. So you can see front and back facing each other. I'll do the same for the back. Okay, I'll do the same for the back. See, after iron, see how flat it is after I finish pressing it. So I'm going to do the same for the back, and I'll do the same for the other side of it. So remember, I took 2 inch. 2 inch was my sewing allowance. So I'm going to use my chalk. I'll measure and I'll mark. So I marked it all the way through from here, taking 2 inch, measuring 2 inch down to the hip, you can see, and then from that from the hip downward, once I'm sewing it, I'll make sure I'll be coming out a little because I don't want it to be too tight on her. I don't think she would want it to be too tight on her. She wants a straight gown, not a pencil gown. So I'm just going to sew from here down to the hip. Once I get to the hip, I'm going to free it a little bit downwards. So also when I'm done with this side, I'm going to be doing the same for the other side. Out the excess from the armhole. I've cut out the excess from them. The next thing I'm going to do is to remeasure. I'll measure this armhole round to see if it is the exact measurement of the armhole that I need. If it is not, I'm going to be shaping it with my scissors, and then until I get the exact measurement of the armhole, I will shaping it. So if it is, there's no need for shaping it again. I'll just leave it that way. But if not, I'll be shaping it. And then for my sleeve, I've already added this lace to it, and then I'm going to sew it from here down to this other, to the down part of it, the down of the sleeve, and then I'll see if the armhole is the exact measurement and reshaping it again, or I'll leave it. But I know that the exact measurement is 19, so I'm going to start stitching from here that I've already marked. So I'll stitch it down to this other part and then we measure to be sure it is that exact measurement. So after that, I'll attach it to my gown. Once I'm done, I will show you the final look of the gown. So this is the final look of the dress. I hope you like it. Please, if you do it to give this video a thumbs up, share, comment, and ask question. Also, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thank you for staying to the end of this video. Thank you and have a great day. Bye bye.